Do not buy those Amazon Polymer clay packages. I know they're tempting, but if you're serious about sculpting, you will regret it. I would know, I've tried them. I've also tested all sorts of different brands. I've been using polymer clay for 12 years now, or 13? I've honestly lost count, but trust me, I've tried it all. And I've struggled a lot, mostly because I wasn't using the right clay. But after spending half of my life doing this, I've figured things out for myself. And I'm here to save you from having to do the same. I bought clay from 9 of the most popular polymer clay lines, and I'll be analyzing each based on the consistency of the raw clay and how easy it is to sculpt with, how well the clay holds up after baking, and pros and cons, as well as if they have any special features that distinguish them from other brands. The first brand we're going to be looking at is Sculpey. Sculpey is one of the most popular polymer clay brands, and if you live in America, this is probably the brand that will be most available to you. They have quite a few different lines of clay, and they're all very different. We're starting off strong with Sculpey Premo. To me, Premo is the perfect mix between soft and firm. It's fairly easy to condition, and it won't strain your hands a ton, but it's also firm enough to hold detail really well. I mainly sculpt miniature food, and with this brand, I'm easily able to shape and texture the clay. So for all the brands in this video, I conducted a strength test. Basically, after conditioning the clay, I cut out 2 pieces. One which is 1/4 of an inch thick, which is a commonly used measurement in polymer clay projects. And the second piece is less than 1 millimeter thick. That way I can test how fragile the clay becomes when rolled thinly. I baked the rectangles according to the clay's instructions, and to evaluate their strength, I'm attempting to break the pieces. Please note that the strength test is mainly intended for artists whose sculptures require increased durability. The clay is intentionally being subjected to maximum force, far beyond what would typically endure during regular use. Therefore, this test may not fully reflect how each brand performs in actual daily conditions. Even brands that appear weaker in these tests may still be ideal for your needs. Results may vary based on individual projects and techniques. The thin piece I baked was decently flexible. I could slightly bend the piece and it would bend back to its original position. But as expected, when I bent the piece too far, it snapped pretty easily. I then moved on to the thick piece, and I could get it to bend ever so slightly when I put a lot of pressure on it, but I could not get it to break. I ended up trying to cut it with my craft knife, and it felt pretty tough, but I was able to get my knife all the way through it. Overall, I would say that Premo works for all sorts of projects. I think it's especially great for those who sculpt intricate or textured pieces, and a great option for beginner sculptors. This clay can also work well for things like jewelry making, but it may not be the best option if you plan on making very delicate pieces. Another really popular Sculpey sub-brand is Sculpey 3. This line is talked about a lot, primarily because people can't stand it. And maybe I'm a Sculpey 3 apologist, but I feel like this clay gets a little too much hate. So right when you open up the package, the clay is really soft. And because of that, it's super easy to condition. However, because it is so malleable, after getting warmed up in your hands, it gets very soft and sticky. So it isn't the easiest clay to sculpt with, especially if you're trying to create intricate pieces. And if you're thinking, hey, that's not great, then you're gonna love what this clay is like after baking. Oh wow. When I was first learning to sculpt, I used Sculpey 3, and I had tons of pieces break. So because of my previous experience with it, I went into this experiment knowing that the clay was going to be brittle after baking. But I had no idea just how weak this clay is until this moment right here. Whoa. Now you may be wondering, okay, what are the good qualities? You just said it gets too much hate. Was that sarcasm? No, actually it really wasn't. Out of all the Sculpey sub-brands, I think Sculpey 3 has some of the best colors. I'm not gonna lie, I'm extremely attached to Sculpey 3 chocolate, and I have yet to find a more perfect shade of brown. I genuinely do still use Sculpey 3 to this day, but only as a supplemental material rather than as my main sculpting clay. So because I really like the colors, I'll mix a small amount of it with some Premo translucent. That way I can still have that same color, but it will be much stronger. And both clays bake at the exact same temperature, so it doesn't complicate the baking process. I also love using Sculpey 3 to make clay icing because it's already really soft, so it makes the mixing process so easy. And the liquid clay adds structure to it so it isn't fragile after baking. Most icing I make is made with this clay, and I've never had any icing chip or break or anything like that. And I think Sculpey 3 works well in that sense, but on its own, yeah, I mean, it's not great. If we judge it on what it's supposed to be used for, it probably is one of the worst brands you could use. Overall, the only people I would recommend this clay for are young children. Kids usually can't condition and work with polymer clay the same way adults can, so in this case, a pliable clay can actually be really useful. But of course, there is still that risk that baked pieces could end up breaking at some point, so keep that in mind. Sculpey Soufflé is a fairly new brand. It's only been out for about a decade, which is actually a short period of time compared to Sculpey's other lines. Most brands of polymer clay are usually a bit translucent, but soufflé colors are actually remarkably opaque. Another interesting thing about this clay is that it's actually lighter in weight than other polymer clay brands, which could be a pro or a con depending on the sculptor. The raw clay feels soft, which makes it easy to condition, but it also holds shape and texture pretty well. It feels similar to Sculpey Premo, but a little more kinetic sandy, but without the grittiness. It just has a very smooth, almost spreadable feel to it. After baking, the clay feels matte, but also really smooth. Sculpey themselves describe this as a suede finish. This thinner piece I baked was super flexible. It literally felt and sounded like a piece of paper. I was able to bend and twist it around easily, but after putting pressure on the bent area, the clay did break apart. I also tried to tear the clay, which I was able to do without much effort. As for the thick piece, it felt strong to me at first, but then I noticed that it was slightly flexible and less sturdy than the other thick pieces. I felt like I could probably break it if I kept trying, and I eventually was able to. It doesn't seem to break like other clay brands. Instead, it rips, and you can even see me basically tearing that thick piece. Personally, Soufflé is my backup clay. It's never my first pick, but when I can't find Sculpey Premo, I usually get Soufflé instead. And that works perfectly fine for what I sculpt. I can't even tell the difference in my pieces. So based on all of that, I would say that this clay is best for children, beginners, and even those who sculpt detailed art. It could also be a good choice for jewelry makers who want a really lightweight product, like when making large earrings, for example. And I imagine this clay can also work for those who want a somewhat flexible clay, so long as what you're sculpting isn't meant to be bent a ton. I have no idea what could fall into that category. The last Sculpey line we're going to discuss is Super Sculpey. Most polymer clay brands are primarily sold in 2-ounce packages, but Super Sculpey only comes in large blocks. The package I have is 8 ounces, but I bought this a while back, and it seems like they only sell Super Sculpey in 1-pound blocks now. Also, Super Sculpey is very limited on colors, and it really only comes in white, gray, and skin tone colors. Most artists who use this clay either leave it the way it is after baking, or they paint over it. That being said, this clay can be combined with other lines of clay prior to baking, so that can be another way to add color. Now in terms of consistency, Super Sculpey feels really nice and soft. It's another clay that's very easy to condition. Super Sculpey is mainly marketed towards doll makers, and this soft material works really well for creating smooth-looking sculptures. However, Super Sculpey is also sold in both medium and firm consistencies, and both of these can hold detail better than the regular version. I know that the name Super Sculpey may imply that the clay is really strong, but it isn't the strongest out of all Sculpey clays. And it definitely isn't the strongest polymer clay brand out there. I'm pretty sure it's named Super Sculpey because it's an improved version of Sculpey Original, which we will not be talking about in this video because it isn't much better than Sculpey 3. To be fair, Super Sculpey is very strong, and I don't think most sculptors will have an issue with the clay breaking as long as you don't sculpt anything thin. but I would say that Premo feels stronger. Not by much, but still noticeably stronger. Overall, I would say that this clay is best for figure sculpting. I also feel like this is a great multi-purpose polymer clay brand. Super Sculpey is not the ideal clay for every single type of project, but if you sculpt all sorts of different things and you don't really fall into one sculpting category, this is a pretty decent clay for all sorts of different projects. Next, let's talk about Fimo. Fimo is another huge brand, and they have two main sub-brands. Starting off with Fimo Professional, this clay is firm and strong. After conditioning, it becomes easy to sculpt with and it holds detail well. On the downside, I've noticed that Fimo Professional isn't as easily available in the US as other brands of polymer clay. And this might just be a personal problem. It might only pertain to the area I live in, but either way, this clay can still be purchased online. And that's how I got mine. This clay is also known for its strength after curing, so I couldn't wait to try it out for myself. Surprisingly enough, this thin piece felt decently sturdy in my hands, but I was able to get it to snap after nearly folding it in half. As for the thicker piece, this block of clay felt really hard. I tried to snap it with all of my might, but it wouldn't budge. I then tried to cut it with my blade, and I was applying as much pressure as I could, but I wasn't getting very far through the piece, so I eventually gave up. All in all, Fimo Professional is a solid choice for experienced sculptors of all sorts. And if you're looking for a really strong clay, this is definitely one of the best. The second Fimo brand we're going to look at is Fimo Soft. This clay is almost just like Fimo Professional, but like the name suggests, it is a bit softer. Unlike Fimo Professional, Fimo Soft is more commonly available, especially in the US. This is another brand that I use a lot, and I feel like it has the best colors out of all polymer clay brands. In terms of performance, Fimo Soft is very similar to Sculpey Premo, both before and after baking. The main noticeable difference is that Fimo Soft is slightly firmer. Now for the strength test. The thin piece felt very similar to the Fimo Professional one, but it was easier to snap. Likewise, the thick piece felt pretty identical to the professional piece. The clay was really hard and I could not break it with my hands, but I was able to cut it much easier than the Fimo Professional one. This is another polymer clay brand that I would recommend to both experienced and beginner sculptors. And just like Premo, this will work for many different kinds of sculpting projects. Though I do think it works best for miniaturists, charm makers, and anyone sculpting something that won't be fragile. Next up, we have Kato PolyClay. Kato is a very stiff clay, and it can take some effort to get it warmed up before you can actually sculpt with it. But that's the least of my worries with this clay because all I can focus on is the way that it smells. This was my first time ever using this brand, and I was shocked at how intense it smells. The scent is similar to vinyl or plastic, and it is so strong. The moment I opened up the packaging, the smell filled the room. Most polymer clay brands don't have much of a scent. You usually have to put your nose right up to the raw clay to smell anything at all, but Kato is headache-inducing. I had to quarantine it in a Ziploc bag and put it in a drawer separate from the rest of my clay because I just couldn't take it anymore. But after baking, if you air out your sculpture for a few days, the smell does eventually go away. And if you can get past the scent, Kato is honestly one of the strongest brands of polymer clay out there, if not the strongest. I had to apply a surprising amount of pressure to even be able to bend this piece, but it did end up snapping. The thick piece felt really hard, and of course I couldn't break it with my hands. And I was literally standing up and putting as much pressure on my knife as I physically could, but I couldn't get very far through this piece at all. Based on its performance, I genuinely believe Kato is a great choice for experienced sculptors, regardless of the type of project you're working on. And if you're in search of a strong, durable clay, it's an excellent option. But as wonderful as this brand is, it's probably too firm for beginners or anyone who may not have the strongest hands. And if you're sensitive to smells, stay far, far away from this clay. You have been warned. Pardo isn't as well known as other brands, but they have a wide range of translucent colors that outperform those from more popular brands like Sculpey and Fimo. They also sell all sorts of regular colors, but to me, their translucent line is what makes them really special. As far as I'm aware, Pardo isn't easily found in the US, and I couldn't find it anywhere near me, so I bought it online. When I received it, the raw clay was super hard, so I just assumed that's what the clay is like. But recently, I saw a video of someone using Pardo, and theirs was super soft right out of the package, so now I'm convinced that I was sent an old one. The piece I'm playing with here is super small because anything bigger than this is actually insanely difficult to condition. Admittedly, I have no idea what this clay is supposed to feel like. If you can get your hands on a fresh package, it seems to be soft and easy to sculpt with, but if you end up getting one like mine, you'll need to soften the clay to be able to use it. I don't even care though because this clay is so good after baking. I could bend this thin piece back and forth and it held up really well. Of course, after putting pressure on the fold, it did break apart. I also tried to tear it like I did with Sculpey Soufflé, and I was able to, but I had to put in quite a bit of effort. The thicker piece was also really strong. And it was another difficult clay to cut through, but still doable. Overall, this is one of the best options if you plan on sculpting thin pieces because you won't have to worry about them snapping. And in general, I think it's one of the best clay brands for sculpting jewelry because of how well it performed in both parts of the strength test. Their translucent colors are also some of the best I've ever tried, so if you're looking for some semi-transparent colors, Pardo is a great choice. And last but certainly not least, we have Cernit. Just like Pardo, Cernit sells loads of different colors, but they are especially known for their translucent clays. Cernit is also vegan, whereas every other clay brand in this video is not. After conditioning, this clay becomes very soft. And like Sculpey 3, this may be too soft to sculpt intricate art out of. That being said, although this clay is super malleable while raw, it becomes very firm and durable after baking. This thin piece was super strong, and I was able to bend the piece quite a bit without any problems. Like the others, it did eventually tear, but it performed the best out of all the thin pieces. The thicker piece felt like a rock in my hand, and I was unable to even so much as bend it. I had to press really hard on my craft knife to get it through this piece, but I was eventually able to cut through it. And although Cernit is pretty similar to Pardo, this was more difficult to cut than the Pardo piece. As tempting as this clay may be, it probably isn't the best choice for sculpting highly detailed or textured art, but because it is so strong after baking, it's great for jewelry makers or anyone creating pieces that require durability. And if you're looking for some really beautiful translucent colors, Cernit is a great option. To recap, here are my brand recommendations. I'm sure a ton of people are gonna get left out in this, but I've done my best to include as many different types of sculptors as possible. Anyways, I hope this helps. Thank you for watching and goodbye.